Hi, boys and girls. In today's class, we're going to review words we've already learned in visual art: abstract, realistic, primary colors, secondary colors. But we're going to talk about two new groups of colors: the warm colors, orange, red, and yellow, and the cool colors, blue, green, and purple. And we will use these colors in an art piece. Boys and girls, before we start our new project today, we're going to review vocabulary and colors that we've talked about in the last few weeks. This is an abstract piece of art. It doesn't look like anything in real life, and it's made of shapes: pentagon, triangle, circle, stars, rectangle. It's done in primary colors: blue, red, and yellow. This is a realistic piece. It looks like a flower, and it's done in secondary colors: green, orange, and purple. And if you remember from last week, you make green with yellow and blue, you make orange with yellow and red, and you make purple or violet with blue and red. So this is realistic secondary colors. Last week, we made a rhino, and we divided his body into sections, and we used pattern. Our pattern was shapes: circles, triangles. We also used different kinds of lines, and it was done in primary colors. So this is an example of pattern using shapes and lines and primary colors. Now today, we're going to talk about another category of color. These colors are called the warm colors, and we need orange, red, and yellow. These are our warm colors: orange, red, and yellow. And you can tell that I've made a duck using the warm colors, and we're going to do that in just a moment. But we're also going to look at the other family of colors we're talking about today. These are the cool colors: blue, green, and purple. And you see that I made a seahorse with the cool colors: blue, green, and purple. So what you need today to work with me is a piece of paper, a pencil, with an eraser, please, if possible. And then you're going to need, at the end, you're going to need the warm colors: orange, red, and yellow. So let's begin with our duck. Let's start with the duck. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with his head first. And we want it to be big. We don't want it to be a little tiny duck on a great big piece of paper. We want it to be a big duck. So we're going to start with this sort of lopsided head. All right, and then we'll put a beak on it. Okay, and then we've got a little wing coming out, and then we need his body. So we're going to do a straight line and come around like this. Okay, and then a wing. All right, we can add an eye as well. Now, I am going to divide my bird like I did with the pattern. I'm going to divide it into sections so that I can color those sections different colors. When you color, please be sure that you fill in all the white spaces. Since I'm doing this in front of you, I'm going to go a little bit faster and may not do it as carefully. So there's a red section, and let's say I'm going to make his wing red, so we'll do that. All right, and I'm going to take orange. I want to make his beak orange, and then color the wing orange here. And then let's do this section in yellow, and let's do part of his head in red, and some of it in orange, and the rest of it in yellow. Okay, I put yellow here, this little spot, and maybe yellow over here, some orange, there we go, red. Okay, now to make the bird stand out a bit, I have a dark pencil. And if you don't have a dark pencil, you can just use a regular pencil and go thick. We're gonna go and trace the lines to make the duck stand out a little bit. Trace the sections and the lines, especially around the outside, to make it thick enough that we really see the body's outline. And around the head, again, want to make it thick so we can really see it. And for sure, the eye, a little bit thicker. All right, now if you want, I can also divide these sections of colors using the pencils too. So there is my duck in warm colors. Now, I'm gonna just take my warm colors and lightly go over the background. The background is the part where there is no duck, the background. Now you can go back and fill in the colors. I filled in my colors with a little bit of yellow, the white spots, to make it a little more interesting. I'm still keeping it warm colors, but it makes it a little more interesting when there's yellow. Then I can go lightly with yellow here and fill in all my background. And then if you want, you can fill in this with some orange. So here's the one we've done together, the duck in warm colors, and here's the one that I did earlier. I took a little more time with this because I was not on camera. Okay, now let's try, these are warm colors, let's try the seahorse now in the cool colors. So looking at my seahorse, we're going to start with the body part first. We have this big curved line that comes around and sweeps up for his tail, and he's got a bit of a stomach. Okay, and then straight line here for his mouth and a little hump. Okay, and there's the outside of our seahorse. We'll give him an eye. We can color that in with a pencil later. Okay, and then some scales. These look a lot like feathers or leaves on a plant, and a big scale right here. Okay, now as I did in my seahorse that I made earlier, I divided it into sections. So part of it was one color, one cool color. And color again. Again, I'm being very fast because we're doing this on camera. I would like you to be careful and color it in very carefully. All right, and then I'm going to add another secondary color. I'm sorry, not secondary, but another cool color. Green is also a secondary color. But in this case, we're thinking of it as a cool color. Then we'll do some purple or violet. This time, my seahorse is becoming more striped. We could repeat the green, blue. And let's do the rest of them in purple. Okay, and then let's use a big blue line for his mouth. And then we can color the scales, alternating colors. So these are the cool colors. I'm going to outline his eye a little bit more. And you see I have a lot of white spots right now, but again, because of time, I won't be able to fill them in right now, but I would like you to take your time and do that. And then outlining my seahorse makes the seahorse stand out a little bit. Outlining the scales. Again, if you don't have a really dark pencil, you can just make thick lines with a regular pencil. And we're going to outline his body over here and his head. Okay, and we know that seahorses are found in water. So very light blue quickly for the background. Again, just want to emphasize the fact that I'm going very fast and I would like you to take your time doing it. Fill in the white spots, but make it lighter so that the seahorse stands out in your art piece. Okay, and if I want, I can fill in some of those white spots with a little purple to make it interesting. And I could also make a little bit of waves by creating a moving line that gives us a sense that there's action. All right, now you can see this one, of course, was done more carefully, but they're both an example of a seahorse, a realistic piece of art in cool colors. So today we've talked about realistic art, cool colors, realistic art, warm colors. I look forward to seeing you next time in our next video, and I hope you have a very good week. This is Dr. D.